and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the new moon in Sidereal Capricorn intention setting practice. Welcome. Sorry we're getting a little bit of a late start today. Still kind of working out the kinks of the new setup in my office. Camera angles and lighting are kind of a pain sometimes, so I apologize for that. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my browser right off the bat while folks are joining us. And if you are on the broadcast, please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. I will go ahead and pull up the feed on my laptop so that I can go ahead and catch your comments and questions while we're live and not have to worry about that. Welcome, everyone. It's good to have you all with me tonight. And even those of you that are catching the broadcast after the fact, watching the replay or watching it on YouTube, I'm glad to welcome you to the broadcast today, to invite you to join us for the new moon in Capricorn intention setting. This is kind of an exciting one for me because it's right after my birthday. It's my birthday new moon, which means I get to use it any way that I want to, but that's only part of the reason why I think it's so exciting. The other part of the reason why I think this new moon is so exciting is because it's the very first new moon of the calendar year. It's the new moon in Capricorn, which is a sign of ambition. It's a sign of the desire to achieve our goals and how we pursue them. And so I think that's a fun new moon to be setting an intention for right as we kick off the new year. You can set your big yearly intention. What's the thing that you want to do, that you want to accomplish this year, and use this new moon, the only new moon of the year with all the planets in direct motion to support your initiative. You'll have that new moon to support it. So I'm very excited. Welcome to the broadcast. Let me get back into the feed. I was just approving a new member to the group in case you'd like to join us while we're live. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Phaedra. I am the artist and astrologer of Mystick, Physick, Astrology. Oh, it says I can start a watch party. What does that do? I have not. I don't want to start a video. I just want to have a watch party with this video. So we're not going to start a watch party. We're just going to keep going with the new moon intention setting, which I have pulled up right here. We're all set. But like I was saying, I'm the artist and astrologer of Mystick, Physick, Astrology. And in my practice, I use Western Sidereal Astrology, which is why we're doing the new moon intention setting for the new moon in Capricorn. And really what I like to do, I love using astrology to help you reconnect with your soul purpose and remember why it is you came into this world to begin with, what it is you're here for, what it is you really want to do, what you want to get accomplished. And my aim with these broadcasts and with the Sidereal Insights Astro update that we do every other Monday on the Mystick Physick Astrology Facebook page is really to just provide guidance for you on how you can use the energy of the transiting planets in a conscious way. Really to be proactive and respond to your transits rather than reactive and just let them happen to you. But so that you can use astrology to affect your life in a positive way. And so with this broadcast, we are going to be using the Fagan-Bradley Sidereal Zodiac. So if you need to look up your sidereal sign placements, you'll want to do that. I do have a handy online calculator, absolutely free. You can look up your Fagan-Bradley Sidereal natal chart. You can grab a quick screenshot if you like and bring it back. Oh, let me make sure. Does that work? I can't tell if I have my keyboard turned on. Yes, I do. Hopefully that gives you, I can't see the comment box. Let's see here. See, no, I didn't paste in there. Hold on. There we go. Now you have the link to get your chart. If you don't have a copy of your sidereal natal chart, Fagan-Bradley is the zodiac that we're using tonight. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm really looking forward to setting intentions with this. And I haven't really given it a single iota of thought. I don't know how many of you might have given it some thought. Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to explore Capricorn themes of ambition, achievement, accolades, We're going to dig into a little bit around why self-discipline and perseverance are so critical to success. And then we're going to set intentions for tapping into the new moon in Capricorn so that you can establish an absolutely rock solid foundation for success going forward into 2020. So I want you to think big picture. I want you to think for the full year. That's really the intention behind this practice for this new moon. In January as we launch the beginning of the year. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take a three-part approach to the broadcast, where in part one, we will dive into this particular new moon, the specific astrology of it, and how we can expect that astrology to affect the outcome of this new moon and to play out. In part two, what we'll do is we will go over the houses that this new moon is falling into for each of you according to your sidereal rising sign. And then in part three, what we'll do is we'll explore the archetype and themes of Capricorn, and we'll go over some prompts that I have, some brand new exciting prompts that I put together for you to kind of consider as you decide what intention you want to set this evening and set those intentions. And we're going to be sharing some affirmations tonight with our intention setting. So thank you so much. Welcome to the broadcast. Let's dive into part one here and talk a little bit then about the new moon in Capricorn. So this new moon is actually exact tomorrow. It's exact January 24th at 9 degrees 21 minutes of Capricorn, 4:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be exact. So this is tomorrow afternoon. Of course, we're doing our practice a day ahead so that we can have the video ready for our folks on the other side of the world who live in the UK, who live in Australia, so that they can do the practice in time for the new moon. Hi, Danielle. Good to see you join me tonight. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I think I have everything set up, and the new office I think is configured so that I can have all the equipment plugged in at one time and not have to swap back and forth between the power supply for my speakers versus the condenser mic. So hopefully this keeps us a little better on track. I'm still getting used to figuring out the camera angle and the lighting. Like you see this little red spot back there, that's my chair for my drawing table, which is in the corner. So yeah, I'm still kind of getting the framing quite right with the new setup, but I just rearranged my office last week because I'm in a new space and I'm not quite, it's like, it doesn't feel like home yet. So I'm working on it. Anyway, welcome, Danielle, to the broadcast. Join me. So we're talking about the new moon in Capricorn, this new moon that's taking place tomorrow, like I was saying, at 9 degrees Capricorn. So Saturn rules this new moon, right? It's our new moon in Capricorn. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Danielle says, happy belated solar return. My birthday was just the other day on the 21st. It was kind of an interesting day. Very cleansing of the palette of life, I think that day kind of was for me. So yes, Saturn rules this new moon, and Saturn is currently transiting Sagittarius, right? Our sign representing the higher mind and higher thinking, philosophy and ideology, our beliefs. And Saturn is transiting conjunct Pluto right now, right? We just had that particular conjunction, which has been building for about 2 years, very slowly. It's been like the pressure has been building. And if you look out into the broader world, you can kind of see that the circumstances in which we find ourselves right now on a global scale kind of reflect the fact that we've reached kind of this boiling point or tipping point or crisis point of events and tensions that have been building over the last 18 to 24 months. And for those of us who have that particular conjunction touching things in our chart, like I do, we're feeling that reach critical mass too, right? So we're all kind of feeling this in some way, some of us personally, some of us in the broader world, but that tension between Saturn and Pluto will be built into this new moon to some degree, and also into the outcome of it. Whatever you initiate under this new moon is going to be flavored with that Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Well, what does that look like? That looks like structural transformation. That's one way that you can examine that. There's this particular new moon, it has a real potential to be influential. The outcome of it has the potential to be influential and transformational in some way. You could expect, or maybe wise to watch out for, the possibility of surprises or shocks of some kind, sudden revelations or insights. Those kinds of things are likely in conjunction with this new moon, and they can trigger sudden shifts, which can result in things like broken commitments or rejection of tradition or rejection of the old ways of doing things. It can trigger kind of a sudden metamorphosis of things like beliefs, like philosophies, like ideologies, things that are ruled by Sagittarius, right? So this sudden structural transformation can take place in the house that Capricorn occupies in your sidereal natal chart. So this is where you want to go back and look to your own natal chart, and you want to take a look at, do I have Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Rising? I'm probably going to feel this particular new moon somewhat personally, if that's the case. You want to have a look at whether you have any planets or points, sensitive points at 9 degrees of Capricorn in your sidereal natal chart. And you probably also want to take a close look at right about 28 degrees of Sagittarius, which is right about where Saturn is sitting right now, where that Saturn-Pluto conjunction is taking place, and see if you have anything significant hanging out in that area either. Because if you do, at any of those points that we kind of just went over, you're probably going to feel this new moon personally. So you'd want to kind of keep an eye on within 3 to 4 days before and after the new moon itself for an opportunity or something new to come into your life, an opportunity to pursue something, a goal or an ambition, to take action towards some new potential achievement that you could reach for. And so watch for that. And if that does happen for you, come back into the comments, right? Because it could have happened already. It could happen anytime in the next, 4 or 5 days or so. If that does happen, come back into the comments and let me know. I'd be curious to see what type of opportunity did crop up for you in your life. So this is kind of a challenging new moon. I think this Saturn-Pluto conjunction just naturally makes it challenging. It does, however, contain the seed potential to hold you to account for your actions, for your commitments, for your responsibilities, for the obligations that you've committed to hold you account for any sort of wrongdoing that you may have done, or to move you forward towards your goals and towards fulfilling your potential, depending on how you choose to use it, and or depending on actions you've taken up until this point. Okay, so keep those things in mind. And also keep in mind, in relation to this particular new moon in Capricorn, this is the only new moon we're going to have this year where we have all the planets in the solar system in direct motion to support whatever initiative or undertaking we begin. And I didn't put this in my notes, but I did spend some time looking at a couple of different charts, because typically with a new moon, we would tell you to go ahead and use the new moon to set your intention. Of course, the 3 days right around the new moon, the day before, the day of, and the day after are the most powerful for doing your intention setting. But then we would normally advise you to take your first action, take your initiative step towards whatever it is you want to begin during the new moon, at the first light of the new moon, with that first sliver first appears in the sky. However, I will caution you that were you to do that during this particular new moon, you might be taking that initiatory step during a time when you are facing a risk of disappointment, especially a risk of disappointment with the outcome in some way. And so what I would encourage you to do with this particular new moon this year is either go ahead and take that initiatory action, the 24th, or no later than the 24th. I wouldn't even take it the 25th. The 24th is the day of our new moon. Or hold off until like the 30th, 31st or so, unless there's a specific reason why you need to take advantage of our Venus-Neptune conjunction. And the Venus-Neptune conjunction, I believe, is happening on the 28th. It kind of depends on where you live in the world. This report says it's exact the 27th of January. But if you're acting in that time frame, you're acting while we have an active Mars square Neptune aspect playing out in the sky. And that tells me that action could lead to disappointment of some kind. So I would hold off if you were to make your initiatory step by the 24th, before the 25th, before that aspect builds into its highest energy. You might give yourself a shot at avoiding it, or if you wait until after the aspect plays out. And the aspect, I want to say, plays out through the 29th, and really it kind of is relative depending on what orb you're looking at. But with the orb that I have set to, I show that particular square playing out through the 29th. Now, that does encapsulate the entire time frame of that exact Venus-Neptune conjunction. So like I was saying, I would only recommend taking action in that window of the Mars square Neptune aspect being active if for some reason you absolutely need to capitalize on that Venus-Neptune conjunction being exact. Now, if you want to take advantage of that Venus conjunct Neptune energy, don't need it to be exact, and still want to take action, I would go ahead and make your initiation tomorrow. Set your intention tonight, make your initiation tomorrow on the 24th for those of you who are with me live. If you're just catching this video tomorrow, you know, you could take action on the 25th. I think you'd be taking a risk. I would rather wait and see you hold off making your initiation until after the 29th, after the Mars square Neptune aspect has had a chance to run its course, so that you're less likely to build that risk of disappointment into the long-term outcome of whatever you initiate with this particular new moon. My advice, my 2 cents on what I see when I look at those charts. But like I was saying, this is the only new moon this year with all the planets in direct motion. So take action. Don't waste this one. Put it to use. And like I was saying, I do encourage you, think long term. Think of what is the big thing that I want to make happen in 2020. What's your big ambition for this year? What's your big goal for this year? Do that. And either make your initiation tomorrow or make your initiation, say, on the 30th, 31st, sometime after Mars square Neptune. Okay? So that really wraps it for part 1, where we went over the astrology of this particular new moon. We're going to move on now to part 2, where we talk about the themes of the house. This is falling in for each of you according to your sidereal rising sign.